Love's ending, life's new beginning. Beloved friends, when one chapter of love closes, the world whispers that something is lost, but Spirit proclaims, something greater is at hand. The ending of love, whether by separation, betrayal, or even the fading of affection, is not the tomb of your joy, it is the womb of your rebirth. Florence Scovel Shinn reminds us, nothing stands between man and his highest ideals but doubt and fear. And so, when love ends, fear rushes in. Fear says you will never love again. You are not enough, you are abandoned. But love's true voice, God's voice, says, behold, I make all things new. Love does not end, it transforms. Relationships shift, but love, the divine power itself, remains eternal, waiting to raise you to your next chapter. Accept the ending. To accept the ending of love is to stand at a sacred threshold between what was and what is yet to come. It is not easy, for the heart clings to what once brought it joy, and the mind replays moments like a film on repeat, searching for clues, explanations, or second chances. But acceptance is not about erasing the love or denying the pain. It is about gently loosening your grip on what cannot return and opening your hands to receive what life longs to place within them. When something ends, the natural impulse is resistance. We resist because endings feel like death, and in a way they are. The death of familiar routines, the comfort of known voices, the warmth of a presence that once steadied us. Yet, every ending is also a seed planted in the soil of the soul. Something is dying, yes, but something is already sprouting beneath the surface. To accept the ending is to trust that invisible growth, even when your eyes cannot yet see it. Many people confuse acceptance with indifference. They believe to accept is to stop caring, to stop feeling. But that is not the truth. Acceptance is not the closing of the heart. It is the opening of the spirit. It is a posture of surrender, not to defeat, but to divine wisdom that knows what you cannot yet know. Florence Scovel Shinn often said, "What is rightfully yours cannot be taken away." If a relationship has left your life, it is not because you are unworthy, nor because love has abandoned you. It is simply that this chapter no longer holds the fullness of your destiny. There is pain in realizing that a story you imagined would last forever has reached its final page. The mind cries, "Why now? Why me?" And yet, the deeper question is, why hold on to something that no longer holds you? Life is never cruel without reason. Life closes doors because you are meant to walk through new ones. Acceptance is the key that unlocks those doors, though at first it may feel like a key made of fire, hot to the touch and hard to grasp. But the longer you hold it, the more you see. It does not burn you, it frees you. Acceptance asks you to honor the love for what it was, not for what you wish it had been. It asks you to bless the good, release the sorrow, and carry forward the lessons. Every person who has walked beside you has been a teacher, whether they taught you patience, strength, compassion, or boundaries. To accept the ending is to graduate from that classroom and move into the next stage of your education in love. This does not mean you must erase memories or pretend it never mattered. In fact, acceptance deepens when you acknowledge fully, yes, it mattered. Yes, it shaped me. And yes, it is now complete. When you resist, you remain trapped in yesterday, endlessly reliving what is already gone. But when you accept, you reclaim your power in today, and today is the only place where miracles can happen. Acceptance is also an act of faith. It is saying, though I cannot yet see what lies ahead, I trust that the universe does not leave voids unfilled. Just as nature abhors a vacuum, spirit will not leave your heart empty forever. Something will come to meet you on the other side of acceptance. New friendships, new opportunities, perhaps even new love. But these gifts cannot enter a house cluttered with what is past. Acceptance clears the room. And so, accepting the ending is not weakness. It is one of the bravest acts of love you can offer yourself. It is refusing to live in resistance. It is choosing to believe that life is for you, not against you. It is letting the river of time carry away what no longer belongs, trusting that it carries you toward brighter shores. And when you accept, you step into freedom, the kind of freedom that whispers, the best is not behind you, the best is before you. Release with forgiveness. To release with forgiveness is to choose freedom over chains, peace over poison, and healing over hurt. Forgiveness is not about declaring what happened as right, nor is it about excusing the harm that was done. It is about understanding that to hold on to bitterness is to drink from a cup that only poisons you. When love ends, whether through betrayal, neglect, or simply drifting apart, the heart often gathers up stones of resentment and carries them as if they will protect us. In truth, they weigh us down, pressing against the soul until joy can barely breathe. Forgiveness is the act of putting those stones down. It is one of the most misunderstood powers in human life. Many resist forgiving because they think it means letting the other person off the hook, as if forgiveness erases accountability. But forgiveness is not about them. It is about you. It is about your spirit refusing to be tied forever to the actions of another. Florence Scovel Shinn said, "No man is your enemy, no man is your friend. Every man is your teacher. Even the ones who wounded you were teachers. They may have shown you where your boundaries needed strength. They may have revealed to you the depths of your own courage, and once the lesson is complete, you are free to release the teacher and walk on." Forgiveness does not happen in a single breath for most people. It unfolds like dawn, slowly, tenderly, with light breaking through a little more each day. You may wake some mornings and feel as though the anger has loosened its grip, only for the shadows to return at night. That is part of the process. Each time you say, "I release you, I forgive you, I choose peace," a thread of bitterness snaps and the knot inside grows weaker. Over time, the knot disappears, and in its place is a heart that no longer aches at the sound of a name or the memory of a face. To forgive is to acknowledge your own humanity as well. Often, we hold on to guilt and shame alongside resentment. We replay the choices we made, the words we spoke, or the moments we missed, punishing ourselves for not knowing then what we know now. But forgiveness extends inward too. To release with forgiveness is not only to free others, it is to free yourself. It is saying, "I did the best I could with the light I had at the time. I now choose to step out of the prison of regret." There is an ancient power in speaking forgiveness aloud. Writing a letter you never send, whispering prayers for those who hurt you, or simply speaking their name followed by the words "I release you," "I forgive you," "I bless you and let you go" can shift the very atmosphere of your life. These words may feel stiff at first, but the heart will catch up to the tongue. Consistency softens resistance, and little by little, you notice that the sting loses its fire. Forgiveness is not forgetting. The mind may always carry the memory, but forgiveness removes the charge. It turns the story from a wound into wisdom. You look back not as a victim chained to the past, but as a survivor who has been strengthened by it. And in that shift, your energy changes. You no longer carry the vibration of bitterness, and life responds to that. Doors open, new people enter, opportunities flow more freely. It is as if the universe had been waiting for you to lay down the heavy burden before it could place new blessings in your hands. Releasing with forgiveness is one of the most radical acts of love, because it says, "I will not allow the past to define the future of my heart." It is the soul refusing to live under the shadow of someone else's actions. It is choosing to be whole, light, and free. And in that choice, the ending of love transforms into the beginning of peace. Affirm your worth. When love ends, one of the greatest wounds is not just the loss of another person, but the quiet voice that begins to whisper, "Was I not enough?" This voice seeps into the cracks of the heart, echoing with doubt, telling stories of unworthiness, of failure, of being somehow incomplete. But this voice is not truth, it is fear disguised as reason. To affirm your worth is to rise above this voice, to stand in the deeper truth that your value was never dependent on who loved you, who left you, or who stayed. Worth is not a currency given by another. It is the essence of who you are. You were worthy on the day you were born, before you ever spoke a word or proved a thing. That worth has never dimmed, no matter what anyone else has said or done. Love's ending may shake the walls of your life, but it cannot touch the foundation of your being. And yet, in the rawness of heartbreak, it is easy to forget this. That is why affirming your worth is not a one-time statement. It is a daily practice, a gentle reminding of yourself to yourself. When Florence Scovel Shinn spoke of affirmations, she was not talking about empty words. She understood that words are creative power. To affirm is to plant a seed in the garden of your subconscious, to water it with repetition, and to watch it grow into reality. So when you say, "I am worthy of love," "I am enough," "I am a child of infinite spirit," you are not lying to yourself. You are calling forth the truth that has been buried under sorrow. Heartbreak can make us chase validation, searching outside ourselves for proof that we matter. We look to new relationships, to attention, to recognition, hoping someone else will mirror back what we cannot yet see. But the truest healing begins when you affirm your worth without needing anyone else's confirmation. When you stand before the mirror and speak to your reflection, "You are valuable, you are loved, you are deserving of joy," something shifts. The reflection becomes less of a stranger and more of a friend. Affirming your worth also means setting boundaries that reflect it. Worth is not just an inner feeling, it is an outer practice. When you know your value, you no longer settle for treatment that diminishes you. You no longer tolerate situations that drain your spirit. Every choice you make, how you speak of yourself, how you care for your body, how you allow others to treat you, becomes a declaration of worth. And slowly, the world mirrors back what you have affirmed within. There will be days when you do not feel worthy at all. Days when the grief feels heavier than the truth. But that is when affirmations are most needed. Feelings are like weather, they shift and change. But affirmations are like the sun, constant even behind the clouds. By repeating them, you remind yourself that your feelings are temporary, but your worth is eternal. You may not feel radiant, but you are still radiant. You may not feel lovable, but you are still love itself. Affirming your worth is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is remembering that you are made of the same divine substance that created oceans and stars. And if the ocean does not beg for permission to be vast, and the stars do not ask to shine, then you too have no need to beg for worth. You simply are. The ending of love cannot subtract from that truth. If anything, it calls you deeper into it. When you affirm your worth, you reclaim power that heartbreak tried to steal. You step back into your own skin, not as someone broken, but as someone becoming. You see yourself not as rejected, but as redirected toward greater joy. And in that knowing, you begin to walk with a new steadiness, a new confidence, a new light. For you finally remember that no ending can erase the truth, you were always enough, and you always will be. Create a new vision. When love ends, the heart is often tempted to stare only at the ruins of what was lost. We replay old conversations, retrace old moments, and imagine countless what-ifs that never come. But healing does not come from staring backward. Healing begins when we dare to turn our gaze toward the horizon and create a new vision for the life ahead. This is not about erasing the past. It is about refusing to let the past be the only story we tell ourselves. A vision is more than a dream. It is the blueprint the soul draws for the future, a compass pointing us toward the next chapter of our destiny. When you create a new vision, you give your spirit something to reach for, something to lean toward. Without vision, you wander through the ache of endings without direction. With vision, every step, even the shaky ones, begins to carry purpose. In the silence after heartbreak, the imagination often fills with shadows. We see ourselves alone, unloved, rejected. We rehearse pain more than possibility. But imagination is a sacred tool. It will create whatever picture you hand it. Florence Scovel Shinn called imagination the scissors of the mind, cutting out the shapes that life will later form. If you keep cutting only sorrow, sorrow is what life will stitch together for you. But if you dare to cut shapes of joy, abundance, new love, and deep peace, those shapes will soon become the fabric of your days. To create a new vision is to pick up those scissors and consciously decide what picture your life will hold next. See yourself walking with strength again, laughter rising in you like sunlight, peace resting in your chest like a steady flame. See yourself surrounded by love, not only romantic love, but the love of friends, family, community, and the divine. Imagine opportunities flowing to you, doors opening in places you never thought to look. Hold this picture in your mind, not as a desperate wish, but as if it is already unfolding. This is not pretending. It is partnering with the deeper truth that life is always creating. Just as winter is never the end of the cycle, endings in love are never the end of life's generosity. Spring always comes, even if the ground looks barren. Your new vision is the seed you plant in that soil. It may not sprout overnight, but it will grow if you keep watering it with belief. Some people hesitate to create new visions because they feel guilty, as though imagining joy after loss betrays what was once shared. But moving forward does not erase the past, it honors it. Every vision you create stands on the foundation of what you have learned. The old love shaped you, taught you, stretched you, and in its ending, it prepared you for more. Creating a new vision is simply allowing that preparation to bear fruit. Start small if you must. Picture yourself smiling again without the weight of yesterday pressing down. Picture yourself waking up and feeling excitement instead of dread. As the picture grows clearer, add color, detail, and texture. See yourself traveling, creating, connecting, living fully. Each vision is a quiet prayer, and each prayer moves you closer to its answer. Creating a new vision also means speaking it aloud. Words carry energy. When you say, "I am walking into joy. I am open to love in new forms. I am ready for blessings greater than I have known," you are aligning your life with the vision you hold inside. Speak it even when doubt whispers otherwise, because the voice of faith is always louder in the long run. At first, the vision may feel fragile, like a candle flickering in the wind. But each time you choose it over despair, the flame grows stronger. Soon, what felt like imagination begins to feel like destiny. You walk differently, think differently, breathe differently, because you are no longer staring at the ashes. You are staring at the sunrise. And slowly, the vision you created becomes the life you are living. Align with divine timing. One of the hardest lessons in love, and in life, is learning to wait with faith. When something ends, the heart rushes into urgency. We want answers now, healing now, new beginnings now. The silence of waiting feels unbearable, like standing in a room with no doors. But to align with divine timing is to understand that the doors are already there, just not yet visible to your eyes. It is to trust that life is unfolding at a pace designed not to punish you, but to prepare you. When love ends, impatience often rises like a storm. We feel restless, anxious, even panicked, as if our future depends on forcing something to happen quickly. But nothing forced is ever rooted in peace. If you plant a seed and dig it up every day to see if it has sprouted, you will kill what you are trying to grow. The same is true for your new season of life. It cannot be rushed. It must be trusted. Divine timing is not human timing. We measure our lives in days and months, counting the hours that pass and believing delay means denial. But the universe moves by rhythm, not by our calendars. A flower blooms not a second too early or too late. The tide rises when it is meant to, the moon waxes and wanes in its cycle, and the stars appear when night is ready. So too does your life unfold with perfect timing. You may not understand the delay, but one day you will look back and see how every pause was protection, every wait was wisdom, and every delay was divine. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded her readers that faith knows it has already received, and acts accordingly. Aligning with divine timing is acting as though your blessing is already on its way, even when there is no proof in sight. It is waking up each morning and saying, I am exactly where I am meant to be. I cannot miss what belongs to me. What is mine by divine right is moving toward me even now. These words shift your energy from desperation to peace, from fear to trust. To align with divine timing is not to be passive. It is not sitting still, waiting for miracles to drop into your lap. It is living fully in the present moment, while knowing the future is already being prepared for you. It is tending your heart, your health, your joy, so that when the new chapter arrives, you are ready to receive it. The farmer does not control when the rain will fall, but he can till the soil, plant the seeds, and keep the field ready. Your role is the same: prepare, believe, and allow. There will be moments when doubt whispers, maybe nothing is coming. Maybe I have been forgotten. But remember, divine timing is never late, never careless, never cruel. What is delayed is often delayed because you are being shaped into the person who can hold the blessing without breaking under its weight. Sometimes the pause is the preparation. The waiting room is the training ground for strength, patience, and wisdom. Think of the times in your life when something felt delayed but arrived at the perfect moment. Perhaps a job, a friendship, an opportunity that came later than you wished, but earlier than you realized you needed. The same is true now. What is meant for you cannot pass you by, and if it has not yet arrived, it is only because its season has not yet bloomed. Aligning with divine timing requires surrender. It is placing your clock in the hands of spirit and saying, I trust your rhythm more than my impatience. I trust your calendar more than my fear. And in that surrender, peace comes. You breathe easier. You stop fighting the silence. You begin to see beauty in the in-between moments, knowing they too are part of the journey. For when you align with divine timing, you no longer chase life, you flow with it. You stop demanding why not now, and start believing, when it comes it will be perfect. And slowly, you realize that the waiting was not wasted. The waiting was where you found yourself, strengthened yourself, and readied yourself. And when the new beginning finally arrives, you will see it was worth every moment of the wait. Rebuild self-love. When love leaves your life, there is a natural vacuum left behind. The heart may feel hollow, as if the very essence of its joy has been carried away. In that emptiness, it is tempting to seek comfort in others, to look for love outside yourself as though it will fill the gap. But true healing begins when you return to your own arms, when you learn to love yourself with the tenderness and devotion you once reserved for someone else. Rebuilding self-love is not a selfish act. It is the most sacred work you can do, for it lays the foundation for all the love that is yet to come. Self-love begins with recognition. It begins with the quiet acknowledgement that you are inherently valuable, that your worth does not depend on another's presence or approval. Heartbreak often convinces us otherwise, whispering lies that we are not enough, that we were rejected because we lacked something essential. But the truth is simpler and far more freeing: you are already whole. The ending of a relationship does not subtract from your essence, it merely redirects your attention back to yourself, the source of all love and life. Rebuilding self-love requires care. Florence Scovel Shinn often emphasized the power of words and deeds in shaping reality. Speak to yourself kindly. Treat yourself as you would treat a beloved friend who has been wounded. Nourish your body with food that heals, move it in ways that delight. Rest it when it asks for peace. Give yourself permission to laugh, to cry, to be imperfect, and to feel fully. Each small act of care is a brick in the foundation of renewed love for yourself. Forgiveness is part of this reconstruction. Often, we are harshest on ourselves, replaying perceived mistakes, imagining ways we could have done better. To rebuild self-love, you must release these inner judgments. Say to yourself, I did the best I could with the knowledge I had. I am learning, I am growing. I forgive myself and honor my journey. This gentle forgiveness softens the inner critic and creates room for joy, gratitude, and hope to flourish. Rebuilding self-love also involves setting boundaries that reflect your worth. After heartbreak, it can be tempting to tolerate anything, to accept less than you deserve, or to overextend yourself for the approval of others. But when you truly love yourself, you recognize your limits, your needs, and your sacred space. You learn to say no without guilt and yes without fear. Boundaries are not barriers. They are declarations of the love you have for your own spirit. Another vital part of self-love is rediscovery. Heartbreak often causes us to lose sight of who we are outside of a relationship. Rebuilding self-love is an invitation to reconnect with your passions, your creativity, your dreams. Paint, write, dance, travel, or simply sit in silence with your own company. Explore what makes your heart beat faster, what makes you feel alive. In these discoveries, you reclaim pieces of yourself that may have been neglected, and in doing so, you become whole again. Consistency matters. Self-love is not rebuilt in a single day, and it cannot be borrowed from fleeting moments of pleasure. It is cultivated patiently, gently, every morning, every evening, and in the quiet spaces in between. Speak affirmations of love to yourself. Stand in the mirror and see your reflection as worthy of affection, respect, and joy. Celebrate even the smallest steps forward. With each day, self-love grows stronger, more resilient, and more radiant. Finally, understand that rebuilding self-love transforms everything. When you truly love yourself, you no longer seek validation outside, no longer fear endings, no longer chase approval. Your energy shifts. You attract experiences, people, and love that reflect your restored inner light. The heartbreak becomes not a scar, but a doorway, a passage to a heart that loves more fully, more freely, and more wisely than before. And in this love for yourself, you find the courage, the peace, and the joy to embrace the new beginnings that await. Serve others. When love ends, the heart can feel painfully isolated, as though the world has grown smaller and the warmth of connection has disappeared. In these moments, it is natural to turn inward, to dwell on grief, longing, or the sense of loss. But one of the most profound and healing acts you can do in this time is to serve others. To give of yourself, even in small ways, is to release the energy of pain and transform it into light. Service is not a distraction from your sorrow. It is a sacred pathway through it. Serving others reminds you that love is not limited to romantic relationships. Love is expansive, divine, and ever-flowing. It exists in the simple gestures. A kind word to a stranger, listening fully to a friend, offering support where it is needed most. When you turn outward, the focus shifts from what is gone to what you can give, and in giving, you begin to receive. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of the boomerang effect. What you release into the world with faith and generosity returns to you multiplied. Every act of service plants a seed of blessing that blooms both in the lives of others and in your own heart. Serving others also opens the heart in ways that self-pity cannot. Grief can harden the spirit, leaving it feeling small and confined. But when you reach out, you remind yourself that you are part of a larger tapestry of human experience. You discover that your presence, your words, your time, and your kindness have value. You begin to feel connected again, and the loneliness that once felt endless begins to ease. There is a profound joy in knowing that even after heartbreak, you have something to offer that no one can take away. Moreover, serving others shifts your perspective. When we are trapped in our own sorrow, the mind can exaggerate loss and pain, magnifying the shadows. But when we focus on helping someone else, even in a small way, we see life beyond our own difficulties. We witness resilience, courage, and gratitude in others, and these reflections remind us that life continues to be rich, meaningful, and full of possibility. Each moment of service is a reminder that love has not ended, it has only changed form. Service does not have to be grandiose or public. Sometimes the most transformative acts are quiet and personal. Listening attentively to someone in need, cooking a meal for a neighbor, writing a letter of encouragement, or even offering a smile to a stranger can shift the energy of your own heart. Every gesture matters, because in each act, you are choosing love over bitterness, generosity over grief, and connection over isolation. Consistent service nurtures gratitude as well. When you see the difference your kindness makes, even in the smallest measure, you begin to appreciate your own abilities and your own capacity to love. You realize that the ending of one love does not diminish your capacity to care. You are still a conduit for joy, hope, and compassion, and the world is richer because of your presence. Serving others also invites miracles into your life. As Florence Scovel Shinn often emphasized, giving creates a flow of divine abundance. What you offer freely, without expectation, circles back to you in ways you may never imagine. New opportunities, deeper friendships, renewed purpose, and even love in forms you could not have anticipated. It is as if the universe whispers, "You gave love freely, now receive freely." Ultimately, to serve others after heartbreak is to rediscover the boundless nature of love. You learn that love does not end with one person, one relationship, or one chapter. It exists in every act of kindness, every moment of compassion, and every choice to lift another. And in this sacred exchange your heart heals, it expands, it becomes a magnet for the joy, connection, and abundance that life has always intended for you. Walk into the new beginning after heartbreak, after loss, after the seasons of grief and self-discovery. There comes a moment when the heart is ready to step forward. To walk into the new beginning is not merely to resume life. It is to enter a space of transformation, where every step carries intention, courage, and hope. It is the culmination of the work you have done in acceptance, forgiveness, self-love, and vision. It is the moment when you say to life, "I am ready. I am open. I am willing to receive the blessings that await me." Walking into a new beginning requires faith. Faith that the future holds beauty, even when the past has left scars. Faith that what was lost was not the end but preparation for what is to come. Florence Scovel Shinn often reminded us that words and thoughts are powerful instruments. They shape the life we live. To walk into the new beginning, you must speak your intentions with clarity and confidence. Say aloud, "I step into joy, I step into love. I step into opportunities that uplift and inspire me." Let these words resonate not only in your mind, but in your body, your heartbeat, and your very soul. The new beginning asks you to release fear. Fear whispers, "What if it fails again? What if I am hurt?" But fear is a shadow, a trick of the mind, and it cannot thrive in the light of conscious choice. Choosing to walk forward is saying, "I trust myself. I trust life. I trust that every step is guided by the divine." Even if you falter, even if the path twists unexpectedly, the act of walking itself carries you toward the destiny you are meant to claim. This step also requires courage. To embrace a new chapter is to leave the familiar behind, even if that familiarity has been painful. It is to step out of the comfort zone of repetition, habit, or fear, and into a landscape of possibility. Each step you take affirms your sovereignty over your life. You are no longer defined by what was lost, but by the choices you make in each present moment. Every decision, every action, every intention propels you forward into the life you are meant to live. Walking into a new beginning also means embracing your own worth and readiness to receive. You have practiced self-love, rebuilt your confidence, and nurtured your spirit. Now it is time to let those efforts bloom outward into your world. Let your light shine, let your voice be heard, and let your heart be open to connection, creativity, and abundance. Life responds to openness, and as you walk boldly, you magnetize experiences and people that reflect your renewed energy and vibrancy. The new beginning does not come all at once. It unfolds gradually, like dawn breaking over a quiet landscape. Some days you will feel the exhilaration of progress, other days, doubt or fear may creep back. These moments are natural. They are the gentle reminders to remain present, patient, and compassionate with yourself. Keep moving, even when the steps feel small. Every movement, no matter how tentative, is a declaration that you are choosing life over lingering in the past. Walking into a new beginning also invites gratitude. Celebrate the small victories, the moments of joy, and the glimpses of hope. Each one is a confirmation that life is moving with you, not against you. Gratitude amplifies your vibration. aligning you with the flow of blessings that are already on their way. You realize that every ending, every challenge, and every lesson has been preparing you for this very moment. A moment of renewal, expansion, and freedom. And so, to walk into the new beginning is to claim your birthright of joy, peace, and love. It is to honor your journey and recognize that the best is not behind you. It is ahead. Step forward with faith, courage, and intention. Let your heart be light, your spirit be open, and your mind be filled with vision. The new beginning is not a distant dream, it is here, waiting for your first step. Walk into it fully, knowing that every moment of your past has prepared you, every choice of your present empowers you, and every blessing of your future is already on its way to meet you. Losing love is never easy. It leaves a quiet ache, a pause in our hearts, and questions that seem too heavy to answer. But endings are not the full story. They are the doorway to something new. Life keeps moving, and so must we. With each ending comes a chance to rediscover ourselves, to heal, to grow, and to open our hearts to new joys we never imagined. So let us honor what was, learn from it, and step into the new beginning waiting for us. With courage, hope, and a heart ready to love life again.